All right, guys, we're going to get this recording going. It's been a while since I've done a recording here. It's been a while. Um, I mean, a while. I have not done a recording in a bit. But I decided to get back on these recordings. And I'm always listening to other speakers. And I'm on this journey with you, just so you know. So everything that I'm saying here, all the advice that I'm giving, I'm taking. And I would believe that most speakers would be best for them to say the same thing because we do a lot of research. And I mean, like I'm researching all day, every single day for the betterment of I am self. Oh, by the way, let me say this to you. I'll use terms, you hear my grammar being a little different. I'll say things like I am self instead of myself. I purposely take the R off the word your and I'll say you. Like instead of saying your home, I'll say you home. And then I'll explain to you why I do that. I will deliver dialogue, and I'm pretty good at doing this as best I can to keep you from going here. We need this to be quiet. This didn't create us. The I am that we are created all of this, which is called the body. So there shouldn't be any part of our bodies acting like the creator or acting like the master. Oftentimes, especially in the Western world, the brain, and people talk a lot about the brain. They use the word mind, which I say is misinformation, needing demolition, dissolving, dissipating, destroying, and completely dumping. And you'll see that on my merch, my t-shirts, my sweatshirts and caps. Not caps, but that's quite a bit to put on a cap. But you'll definitely see that on t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts. And my whole focus is I amology. And the reason I created the word I amology, which is copywritten, and it's because there's, just like to let you also know, I'm not a minister. So I don't prefer to have anyone come into my channel trying to have any religious debates. I'm not open to that. Whatever your religious beliefs are, keep that to yourself. I call this a joyful, happy, blissful conversation. So you could say I'm a joyful, happy, blissful conversationalist or inspirational speaker. But I try to stay away from terms that, I don't want anyone worshiping me or praising me. I like to say worshiping I am or praising I am. And that's really interesting. I said I am, right? And I am is what we are. But I am was never meant to be worshiped or praised. Instead, to be experienced. Because when you start worshiping and praising something, you feel that that something is higher than you and better than you, whereas the reality of it is that is the real you. See, this who you believe you are is the culprit. But what you are is the real deal. And that's the I am. All day long, all of us are saying I am. As the feelings. And I'm going to stay away from the words. Listen, you'll never hear me use the words T-H-I-N-K, T-H-O-U-G-H-T, T-H-I-N-K-I-N-G, M-I-N-D, B-R-A-I-N. Come on, man. There's too many speakers out there talking about M-I-N-D, T-H-O-U-G-H-T, T-H-I-N-K-I-N-G, T-H-I-N-K. I've been through all that. Never got me anything. If you don't know how to use the feelings you are, you're not going to get anywhere. If you, trust me, if you up here, problem solver, problem solver, problem solver. Questions, answers. Questions, answers. Questions, answers. Finite, infinity. Finite, infinity. Finite, infinity. Intelligence, wisdom. Intelligence, wisdom. Intelligence, wisdom. Intelligence is a finite, limited process that has a beginning and an end. Wisdom is a heartful reality that is infinite. There's no beginning and there's no end. There's a continuation as I am. And that is what I'm about, which is why the curriculum here is I Amology equals Youology, Selfology. The study as I am is the same as the study as the self you are. And that's what we're about here. Okay? So, I'm letting you know right now, I am not studying or talking from theology. I'm not a minister. I am not, if I was to have, I do have a reverence and love for Buddhism. I do. Okay? Because Buddha means the awakened one from within. So you learn to connect and realize and have a self-awareness, self-realization experience. Remember, I am is meant to be experienced, not worshipped or praised. Distancing yourself from something that you believe is greater than you. If any speaker is speaking and not helping you realize that you are this great, awesome being that you're trying or you've been evolving to wake up as, I would ask you this question. Why are you listening to them? Why are you, who's the infinite, I am, listening to someone telling you that there's something higher than you? Taking the power you are and giving that to some concept that you haven't researched and validated that exists. I will tell you here on I Amology, that great being, that infinite self is I am. And the more you wake up and know how to use that I am you are, the better you life. I purposely take out the R. Now listen, I'm going to break some grammar rules here on purpose. My grammar is pretty good, but I'll speak in a way where you can have an experiential moment. When I speak, I'm really looking to enlighten, elevate, and awaken you as I am. So I'm going to talk about a couple of books. One to be mine. Okay? Now I'm just going to step out off the camera right quick just to make sure that I'm recording, because I did quite a few recordings and I like to make sure that this one is going, so I'm not standing up here talking for 30 minutes, because my videos are usually 31 minutes and 46 seconds. I like to make sure this recording is going, so hold on, stay right there. All right, so we're still going. We're still going. That's good. So I covered quite a bit. And remember, the entire focus is you. Y-O-U. Which equals I am. Which equals the self you are. Okay? So I'm not going to use terms like subconscious. I'm not going to do that. All that does is create some idea that there's something else. No. I'm not going to use law of attraction. No. I have a notebook where law of attraction, subconscious, let's get rid of that. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to quote a scripture. And I always love to quote this scripture to really get you to realize the real deal. And this scripture is John 8:58. And I like to say, I am 8:58. Okay? But you can go to the book that's called the Bible and look under the book of John and look under 8:58. And the verse goes like this. Before Abraham was, I am. Before Abraham was, I am. Now, I'm going to take you further than Abraham. Before the universe was, that I put the world in, that I put Abraham on, I am. So I am is the predecessor. The unlimited, awesome, almighty, everlasting, constant, unchanging reality power that you are, I am, that precedes all conceiving conceptions and what's called manifestations. Now I'm going to tell you something. The Bible is allegorically, metaphorically, symbolically written. There are a lot of names that are used in scripture and books, but all those names represent one being, and that one being is called I am. Yourself. I have a university called I Am University, and my website will be up in about a couple of weeks. So as I'm letting you know now, in a couple of weeks, you better go to the website, and the website is titled You are everything good.com. That's the website. You are everything good.com. Now you notice how everything I'm saying and everything I'm delivering is about you. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm not going to empower law of attraction because that doesn't exist. I'm not going to empower subconscious. I know I'm about to trip you out right now. Doesn't exist. All the subconscious is a collection of recorded false beliefs that will be interconflicting with the true reality you are. I'm speaking as experience now. So I have a way of showing you how to throw away the subconscious, not non-lovingly, but approvingly, lovingly. Release that information that was recorded. And remember that if you was to say, I am wealthy, what's called the subconscious is a collection of false beliefs that says you're not. So you'll feel like a clutch in your chest area or your abdominal area that'll be basically conflictingly resisting the statement you're making, which is a true statement, a declaration, an affirmation. So what you do is the release technique. I'll just show you a little bit how to do this, but you can go to The Release Technique, www.thereleasetechnique.com, and they have courses there. There's a wonderful gentleman. I met him, face to face. I've been to one of his workshops. I would talk to him over the phone, and God bless his soul, bless him. He was a wonderful gift to this world. Is Larry Crane. Larry Crane studied with Lester Leviston, who was also a wonderful gift. He was a physicist. He studied geometry. He was a chemist, engineer. He went to Rutgers University. He learned about energy and atoms and all these things. So he had a moment where a doctor said he had X amount of days, blah, blah, blah. And because he was a physicist and a chemist and worked with numbers and energy and understood, so he went home and processed what the doctor told him from that point of view of his awareness as someone who's an engineer, chemist, physicist, and he came up with the idea, if I release this energy, this energy that I am off these concepts and just keep doing that, I wonder what would happen with I am body. Now I say I am body on purpose now, not my body, I am body. And I'll tell you why I say that, you'll see. And so he did that, and he just kept doing that. He said he's feeling better and better and better and better and got better. He was given a certain amount of weeks to live, like a few. All of a sudden, he was around for a few months and then a few years. And he started developing this thing called the release technique. He first called this the Sedona method, which, because I guess he was retired in Sedona, Arizona, so he called it that the Sedona method. And later he kept doing this and got better and better. And he said even when he felt good, he released the good feelings. And I've purchased some courses from the release technique. I also purchased, I've taken classes at Scientology. I'm not afraid. I was a little afraid of that because what you heard about in the media. Then I went there and I was like, whoa, pretty interesting. And they have a thing called auditing. And that's in the course of Dianetics, where they just basically take charge, which charge, aka means energy, aka feelings, off of concepts. And they keep auditing you over a situation. So if you had like a moment that was traumatizing to you, they'll audit you, have you relive that moment while you've been audited. You hold these cans and then you can see the electrical waves every time you converse about that subject. And they keep auditing you back, going over that situation until what they call blowing charge off of that. Basically, what happens usually when you go, you laugh about that, they figure that's called ending that cycle of that. No longer are you emotionalized in that experience anymore. So that's one way they do it. Release technique just release from the heart. So you say, I am healthy, or I am wealthy. And then you get a resist. So you say, can I let go wanting to be? So basically you do it, and they have it like, so I say, I am wealthy. Then you feel the resistance. Then you say, is that resistant wanting approval, which is wanting love? Is that resistant wanting control, which is wanting to change things? Is that resistance wanting safety and security? So I go, is that wanting love? So I release. So basically you feel like you're opening a door right there, or a window, and you can actually feel this energy leaving. You can't see this energy with your naked eye, but with a microscope, a certain microscope, you can see the energy leaving your body. So you say, okay, can I let go wanting approval so I can have approval? And I like to say, can I let go wanting approval because I am approval, which is, can I let go wanting love because I am love? That's what I say. Now in release technique, they're going to say, can you let go wanting approval so you can have approval? Which basically, can you let go wanting love so you can have love? But I know that we are love. So I figure if you say you can have something, then that can be taken from you. But when you say you are something, you either delay that something that you are because you don't know, or you allow that something. So I like to use the term I am. So can I let go wanting to love because I am love? Yes. Can I let go wanting love? Yes. Because I am love. Infinitely. Can I let go wanting love? Yes. I let go wanting because wanting is a lie. Because I am love. So I let go the lie of wanting. Because I am love. So I let go wanting the lie of, I let go the lie of wanting love because I am love. Now, once you get that, have that experience, now, do you feel like you are loved? Yes. Can you let that feeling go to see if that feeling can get any better? Yes. Can you let that feeling go to see if that feeling can get any better? Yes. Boom. Now that's one way. Now, when you go to www.thereleasetechnique.com, they have courses, enormous courses on relationships, health, wealth, happiness, everything. Full spectrum. I just gave you a little touch of it. And I won't go too much into the release technique out of respect to the foundation that Lester Levinson started, Larry Crane carried on, wonderful gentleman, and he left his legacy, thereleasetechnique.com. You go there, www.the word THE, release, RELEASE, technique.com, and you'll see all the number of courses they have there, and then they can go more into, I just gave you a little bit of it here. Now, there's another gentleman named Robert Shenfield who has a book called Busting Loose from the Money Game. And he has a thing called the creative process. And he's like, beliefs, judgments, and consequences. So now he called that the egg. So it's like an egg, that's an egg shape. He called that popping the eggs, finding the eggs. What beliefs do you have that has a judgment attached to them? And then consequences. All right? So I'm giving you these different release techniques that I use. And I'm telling you, I can feel myself disempowering false beliefs. Now, remember, the subconscious is a collection of false beliefs. And they say subconscious because a lot of times beings don't know what those false beliefs are. But when you say something, you can feel the resistance, and that's called an inner conflict. But once you release that, what's called those false beliefs, aka subconscious, no longer will you have inner conflicts about statements, affirmations, or declarations that you make. Because you remember, you're the infinite saying, I am this. But if you got what's called a subjective program, a subconscious program that's resisting you. All it is a collection of false beliefs that goes, hey, they don't know anything about wealth. So you're going to feel the resistance. Then you apply the release technique. Now, Robert Shinfield has this thing where you take the feelings you are off the beliefs. You don't stop there. Then you go, what are the judgments based on these beliefs? You feeling off that. Then you don't stop there. What would be the consequences for believing this and the judgments? Take your feelings off there. And then he has an affirmation that goes like this. This was not real. It was completely made up. It was a creation I like to, now listen, I'm going to rephrase it. It was a creation. I like to say it was an allowance that I allowed. I no longer allow this false belief. And then, aka no longer allowing the creation, right? And then I say, now I'm back to my I am true identity, my true self. As Mad Black Guru would say, Mad Black Guru, that's the channel, we'll talk about him, wonderful speaker. Mad Black Guru would say, your true identity is your divinity. So now, when you let go of these false beliefs and the judgments and the consequences, you're back to that pure self. Now, in scripture, they call that casting Satan out of the heaven you are. Because your true identity is heaven. That's your self. So you cast out these false beliefs. They don't live on the energy you are anymore. And then the judgments and the consequences. And then you say, now that you recognize that, can I allow I am to surge? Do I feel that I'm surging more as this, right? And I'm expanding more as this. And now I'm allowing I am as this true divinity to come into the three-dimensional holographic life. So I'm just breaking down. Listen, follow my videos. I like to say, follow I am videos. I'm going to say I am. And remember, I'm breaking grammar on purpose. I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but let me tell you something. At Amology, you're going to see my videos. And you're going to see, I'm going to have other people's videos there because I like a lot of these speakers out here. They're touching on a lot of good things. But at the same time, I will put captions underneath their videos to say, when they say this, apply this. Like when they use the word subconscious, put I am instead. So you feel you are in control, that you can let go of the resistance. So you're the one, you're the I am. And I have in my book, if someone is talking about empowering something else other than you, don't listen to them and don't read the book. Why? Why would you want to empower anything other than you? Ask yourself that. Just stop right now and ask yourself, why would you give power to anything other than YOU? Now, this YOU is not the who, but the what that you are waking it up to as you listen to these videos, other videos. However, I'm going to have different, and when you go to I am University, so you can look at these speakers like instructors, and I'll have some various links. Some of these videos I'll be able to upload, and some you just have to click on the link, and it'll take you right to the YouTube video. So you're in a course. So the curriculum here at I am University is Amology, the study. Ology means the study of. Biology, the study of the body. Psychology, the study of psyche. And we're not about the psyche. You don't need to mess with that. I'm not going to bother that because we need to get you from here. Listen, you cannot solve a problem dwelling in a problem. You have to leave the problem and come to the solver. You know, if you like to walk out of darkness, you have to walk into the light. You can't dwell in darkness and discover light. You know what I'm saying? You have to really leave darkness and walk into the light. That's the only way you're going to solve darkness. When you walk into the light, darkness ends. So if you're having problems because you're in your head, move to the heart, and this will shut up. Very simple. But if you're up here digging in here trying to find out when and why and how, well, you're stirring in the problem. End the problem by going to the solution, going to the answer. The first organ in a woman's body when the doctor notifies her she has life in her is the heart. The heart create all the other organs, including the brain. If the heart stopped, the brain crashed The brain can crash and the heart will keep pumping. The greatest place we should be is here. Let me tell you something. Study anyone who's extremely intelligent. Zero compassion. The more intelligent someone is, the least compassionate they are. And that's not power. That's weakness. Yeah, you may be very intelligent. That's weakness. When you cannot own the power of compassion, that being no matter how they can be very smart, this and that, watch them, study them, and you'll see where they lack power eventually somewhere. They may be able to go and buy stocks and be, very intellectually smart and advantageous in certain areas. But if you watch them, you'll see where they lack power because they want to stay here and they're afraid of going here. When you go here, you start feeling compassionate. You start feeling love and respect for the self you are, therefore others as well. But if you lodged up here, you may feel like you empowered because you have no feelings toward others, but you lack those same feelings as the self you are. Whatever feelings you want to extend to another, you keep from the self you are. That's right. That's what intelligence will do for you. Intelligence will show you how to manipulate, circumvent, and cunningly deprive yourself via depriving what appears to be others. Because see, infinitely, you're everyone that are walking in divine, that's walking uprightly now. There are some beings who are not walking uprightly. You're not them. When you find yourself as a light, you'll be to identify yourself as others. Because you still see beings walking not as the light. Now, I'm not saying walking in light. They're not walking as light. When someone is not walking as light, they're not one with you. They are separate from you. Okay? Only the one that walks as light is one as and with you. Those who walk in as not light, they have separated themselves from the light you are. And that's why they can do things that are not lightfully, wonderfully, lovingly. All right? Plain, point blank. I'm going to check and see what time I have again, just so I know what I have left, so I can talk about these two books real quick. All right, guys, so we're about 27 minutes. So now I just dropped a lot of information on you. So you're going to be getting self-enlightenment here, self-awareness, self-realization, self-realization, all right? Now, there's a young lady, I like to call her a young lady. I met a young lady on the studio lot, CVS Studios, some years ago, and she told me about feelings. And she said, oh, because I was all into the THINK, all the hit. And I'm going to tell you right now, from my own experience, all that did was messed up a lot of nights of good sleep. Mainly, yeah, it was just that, and just a lot of noise. Let me tell you something. You do not. No one on this planet need a brain. No one need a brain, including you who are listening to this. You know why? Because you have a brain. What you need is for your brain to be quiet, silent, and peaceful. You don't need a brain because you have a brain. You just need your brain to be quiet, peaceful, serene, so you can hear the self you are. Einstein said, no amount of acquisition of education, accumulation of knowledge can equal the imagination. Imagination, and most beings believe, oh, I'm imagining. No, that means heart. It's another name for I am. Remember, wisdom is already where intelligence is trying to go. Now, if you don't believe me, take all of your intellectual friends, including you, and try to create a thumbnail. A real one. I don't mean no fake one that you can go to a nail shop and get. One that you can clip and watch it grow back in a month. Now, that's a nail. That's a thumbnail. I didn't say create the thumb. That's an infinite process. Even everyone who always talking about the brain intelligence, then try to create intelligence. Take your brain and try to create intelligence. Take the brain you are and try to create the brain you are. This is all done infinitely. No one who's listening to I am right now. Now, you notice I'm saying I am. I said this on purpose. I break the grammar rules on purpose. No one listening to I am right now can figure out how to make their thumb with their intelligent, brainy. Go ahead and call all your brainy friends up and all your intellectual friends, and you all sit down and make a thumb. I mean a real thumb, not no AI, artificial intelligent thumb. I mean a real thumb that grows a real nail. That when that nail grows out, you clip that nail, and that nail grows back in a month. That's an infinite process. You are here based on infinity, not on intelligence. Infinity made the body you are. And that's the heart. Okay? So Lynn Grabhorn talks about feelings. Feelings is a quality as the heart. There's somewhere in scripture where it says, so a man thinketh in his heart. You can't think in your heart. Again, remember, the Bible is allegorically, metaphorically, symbolically written. All the different names and all the things they're saying is the real you. Mountains are you. Hills and valleys are you. So when you see, since before Abraham